Oh, good morning. This is Jacob. Oh, it's early Saturday. It's really still kind of waking up this morning, but I want to share a read and share Psalm 26 uh, for you, and share a couple things. I'm finding David really scattered, really all over the place in this psalm, and his cry of his heart is to be in the presence of the Lord and not to go the way of destruction, the way of sinners. And I think David is also not very naive in thinking that he's exempt from being taken out by destruction. For he knows that the enemy is like a lion, and he's very well aware of that. And I'd like to read Psalm 26, and I hope you're blessed. Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity. I have trusted in the Lord without wavering. Examine me, O Lord, and try me. Test my mind and my heart, for your loving kindness is before my eyes. And I have walked in your truth. I do not sit with deceitful men, nor will I go with pretenders. I hate the assembly of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I shall wash my hands in innocence. I will go about your altar, O Lord, that I may proclaim with the voice of thanksgiving and declare all your wonders. O Lord, I love the habitation of your house, and the place where your glory dwells. Do not take my soul away along with sinners, nor my life with men of bloodshed, in whose hands is a wicked scheme, and whose right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I shall walk in my integrity. Redeem me and be gracious to me. My foot stands on a level place. In the congregations I shall bless the Lord. It's a really great psalm. At the outset, it seems like a pretty dry psalm, but looking a little bit closer and investigating just a little bit, you'll see that the first verse, David says, "Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity, and I have trusted in the Lord without wavering." David is recalling his past steps. He's looking back and saying, "Lord, look at what I've been doing. Look at my past steps. Look at my trail. I have walked in my integrity, and I have trusted in you without wavering." Can we say that? Can we say without wavering? That's a tightrope to walk. Verse 2, David goes from looking behind him in the past to the present. He says, "Examine me." That's a present request. "Examine me, O Lord, and try me. Test my mind and my heart, for your loving kindness is before my eyes." So he's presenting himself to the Lord. He's presenting himself right where he's at, and he's sharing, saying, "Look behind me, look at my path, and then look where I'm at now. Look at my heart, look at my eyes. Test me, try me, show me." And he says, "For your loving kindness is before my eyes." And so you can tell that David is focused. He's on the trail. He's on the path. He knows what's going on, and at the whole time he's putting his life, and he's putting what he's doing and where he's going and how he's going about it at the feet of the Lord, in the presence of the Lord. And he's not saying that he's without sin or anything. He's just saying, "Examine me and try me. I've walked in my integrity, and I have trusted in you without wavering." But he's not he's saying, examine me. And I think if we're honest, if we ask the Lord to examine us, we would not be found without fault. Yeah. And then now David jumps back into the past again in this part of verse 3. For your loving kindness is before my eyes, and I have walked in your truth. Walked is past tense. I've walked in your truth. And then back into the present. In his present, he says, I do not sit with deceitful men. That's past and present. Nor will I go with pretenders. And that's future. Nor I won't go with them. I won't walk in step with them. And that's a reminder of Psalm chapter 1. It says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. And you see in verse 3 and 4, it says, I have walked in your truth. So walk, I do not sit, nor will I go. Walk, sit, go. And he's saying, this is how I'm living my life, and he's just laying himself out before the Lord. I don't think he's marking himself with a stamp of approval, but he's definitely seeking approval from the Lord and showing his life to the Lord. He's walking in the light. That's what he's doing. He's walking in the light. He's putting his life in the light. And we know that verse in the New Testament. It says, walk as children of light. And verse 5, it says, I hate the assembly of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. What does sitting with the wicked do? What do the wicked look like? Broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it, but narrow is the gate that leads to life, and few find it. What does sitting with wicked people do? It stains your counsel. It changes your mindset. It takes your eyes. What is a wicked man? A wicked man is someone who doesn't know God, who doesn't have a relationship with King Jesus, who his heart hasn't been renewed, is going the way of destruction. So what would sitting with the wicked and evildoers, what would that do to a man like David? It would change his ways. It would change his direction, and not for good. It wouldn't change his direction to good. Do we have friends around us that are always pointing us to Christ and always kicking us in the rear and directing us and helping us along this journey and towards the face of Christ? Or are they always trying to mislead us? Just something to think about. Verse 6, he says, I shall wash my hands in innocence. I will go about your altar, O Lord. And I will go about your altar, O Lord. David is saying, I'll wash my hands in innocence. Like David is cleaning up. He's washing his hands. That's a symbol of, when you eat. Before you eat, you wash your hands of the dirt and the muck and the mire and the stains and the polyurethane and things and slivers, and so you can eat. And here David is washing his hands before he's hanging out in the intense presence of the Lord. He says, I will go about your altar, O Lord. David is proclaiming and saying to the Lord, I'm going to walk in your presence. I'm going to walk in the light of your presence. I'm going to live before you, and I'm going to keep you in front of me. And that I may proclaim with the voice of thanksgiving and declare all your wonders. That's a public display. Verse 7, it's a public proclamation. He says that I may proclaim. That's with the mouth speaking. I proclaim with the voice of thanksgiving, the thankful heart. And that's what a renewed spirit that is in the presence of the Lord can't help but be thankful. And I think that we've, as a whole body of believers, we've become very dismal at being thankful. Thankful for so we have so much to be thankful for. It's really endless. It's the sand of the seashore is endless. And I'm convinced that thankful people they're just a joy to be around. They're not a downer, and they're always thankful for what they have, and they're content, and they're not discontent. And go in verse 7, he says, "I declare all your wonders." Do we share with other people what the Lord is doing in our life? Do we tell of what He's doing, or is He doing? Are we allowing Him to do anything? We saw just the other day, in Psalm 24. It says, "Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in." Open up the gates of your heart. Open up the gates of your city, of your heart, and let the King of glory come in. King of glory. And here David touches on that again. Verse 8, he says, "O Lord, I love the habitation of your house and the place where your glory dwells." Where does this glory dwell? This glory dwells with Him. He's the King of glory. When a king walks through a city, when the king walks through a town or a village, his glory just glows. His glory follows behind him, and He touches people, and He blesses people. And we get that picture here of who King Jesus is. And are we letting that King Jesus come into our house and come into our little hot dog stand place, our little selling spot, our little thing in the village? Or are we letting Him come and dine with us? Or do we not even notice that He walks by? It's just some questions to think about. Oh Lord, I love the habitation of your house. I love the habitat. I think of a habitat. And when I think of a habitat, I think of all the different creatures and growing things in a habitat. The water in a habitat, and the trees, and everything that makes a habitat a habitat. And oh Lord, I love the habitation of your house. The Lord's house is clean, and it's free, and it's life-giving, and it's no walk in the park either. The presence of the Lord is intense. Heaven is, C.S. Lewis describes heaven pretty well in The Great Divorce, the book called The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis, and how it's just heavy, it's intense, it's just strong, and the presence of the Lord is even just a little tiny bit of it. It's just a lot, Verse 9, I love David's heart here. He's praying, but he's not naive. He says, "Do not take my soul away along with the sinners, nor my life with men of bloodshed." He wouldn't say that if he didn't know that he had the potential to go in a bad direction. He's saying, steer me in the right direction. Steer me into your path. Steer me into your presence. And don't let me go the wrong way. And redeem me, in verse 11. Redeem me and be gracious to me. And he's saying, redeem my life. Redeem what's left. Redeem everything you can. And this is Jacob signing out. I hope you're blessed with Psalm 26.